So 2017 smashed world's records for most data breaches ever. There were 5 mega breaches in 2017. It was a record-breaking year for the number of publicly reported data breaches and exposed records in 2017 worldwide, a total of 5,200 plus data breaches equating to over 7.89 billion information records. In 2016, there were about 4,600 data breaches, and that was over 4 billion records compromised. So between 2016 and 2017, there were almost 10,000 data breaches, equating to over 12 billion information records compromised. That's just in the past 2 years. It is getting worse. It's not getting any better. And that's because basically governments, corporations, consumers, people that are responsible for protecting our information, in some cases you, aren't effectively, some of us, not doing our jobs properly, or really just don't know what to do. My role is to show you, again, and your clients what to do and how to protect themselves. Here, Russian hackers have access to 270 million email logins, including Gmail and Yahoo accounts. It might even be a lot more than that. Basically, this is just to give you an idea of how much access the bad guys may have. Now, here is a website. Basically, this is a screenshot, but I'm going to show you an actual website. We're going to go online of a website called Have I Been Pawned? They also pronounce that Have I Been Owned, right? And so here, we're going to go to, let me see, right here. Yeah, so this particular website is owned by a security company, and this security company has downloaded basically billions of compromised records that have been exposed online by criminal hackers. They call them pastes. They paste the entire database to a forum, and bad guys can download all that information. Well, in this case, a security researcher, many security researchers have downloaded all this data. And so they are able to see exactly whose information is compromised. For example, they know all the different email addresses that have been compromised and also their corresponding passwords for all the breached accounts. So right here, I'm going to show you a live example. I'm going to type in my email address, robertciliano@gmail.com, right? And right here, I'm going to hit the pond or the owned, basically it's search, and I'm going to show you right now live how many different websites my email address and the corresponding password for those particular sites has been compromised, right? So it's doing a quick search. Oh no, found on 16 breached sites. That means that my email and the corresponding password for all those particular websites is now in the hands of criminals. So I'm going to scroll through just to the ones that you know. So right here, like there's a Bitcoin security forum, a Gmail dump in September 2014. It says nearly 5 million usernames and passwords was posted to a Russian Bitcoin forum. Look at that. So my robertciliano@gmail.com, along with the associated password of the Bitcoin forum, is now in the hands of criminals. Same thing with Bitly, right? Right here, 2.6 million email addresses and passwords. Well, that's 9.3 for Bitly. Cafe Mom, 2.6 million. Daily Motion, Discus, Dropbox, 68 million records were compromised along with passwords. So my Dropbox username, being robertciliano@gmail, along with my Dropbox password, is in the hands of criminals. And then the same thing with Forbes, Last.fm, LinkedIn. Many of you might be on LinkedIn, right? In 2012, 164 million email addresses and passwords were exposed. Again, my robertciliano@gmail.com, along with my LinkedIn password. Now, for me, all I need to do, or all anyone needs to do, is go in and change the LinkedIn password. Go in and change the Last.fm, the Forbes, the Dropbox, the Discus, the Daily Motion, Cafe Mom, and Bitly password. If in fact your URL, your username, in this case my email address, was part of that particular breach. So I just changed my password and I'm fine. But here's the problem. For many of you and for your clients, you might also use the same password for your LinkedIn account as you do for your actual Gmail account. And that same password might be the same password across all these different accounts, because many people use or reuse the same password across all their critical accounts. And when that happens, that means the bad guys get access via all of your critical accounts because all the data is out there. So I don't use the same password twice. So in this case, I'm fine. I just have to change the password for these specific sites. But for many of you, that might also mean that the bad guys now get access to your actual email, to your actual Dropbox, and so forth, because you use the same password across multiple accounts. So how do you fix that deal? Well, let's go back here really quick. So the way you fix that basically is by engaging in a password manager. Protect your money with a password manager so you aren't hacked. Let me show you an example of a password manager. So I've been using a password manager for a number of years, right? So a password manager, for example, here, right? If you look at that little logo right there, that little icon, that's my password manager. It's called RoboForm. There's all kinds of password managers out there. You can choose whichever one you want. So we're going to click on RoboForm right here, right? And look what it brings up. It brings in logins, right? So login. So I'm going to click on logins, right? And watch this. This is my logins for numerically 1,000 bulbs all the way to C, Choice Hotels, right? So if I scroll, right, it goes from C or B to F, right? And from F, right, all the way to L. So you see LinkedIn down there, right? You see Kohl's, which is one of the big chain retailers. You see Intuit, which is Mint, right? You see Hertz, which is the rent-a-car company, and so forth. So these are the companies that I do business with, similar companies that you might do business with. So my password manager stores all of my passwords. Now check this out. See generate right here? Watch this. So I click on generate. Look at the password that it generates. An exclamation point, lowercase g, j, d, uppercase y, 9, c, lowercase I, w, uppercase b, lowercase r, f, j, and money sign. You're not going to remember that password. It's impossible. But your password manager remembers it for you. So the way a password manager works, basically, whenever you set up a brand new website that you're going to be a member of, and or you're going to change all your passwords, your password manager is integrated into that process, and it basically creates secure passwords that it remembers for you. So whenever you go to a specific website, you know, for example, if I was to go back to logins and I was to right click on, say, American Express, right? It's going to log in the same window. It's going to add my username and password in there for me. That's the best way to go. So a password manager really is the most effective way for you to manage multiple accounts, multiple websites, along with multiple passwords. You don't have to remember them, and it gives you a secure password for each site. All right. So then what are the best password managers? So the best password managers, you can do a quick search online and you'll find articles that look just like this one right here. This is, you know, the best password managers of 2017 on PC Magazine. If you search online and Google the words password managers, you'll find all kinds of options on the first page of search. But one other thing I wanted to show you in regards to passwords, a lot of people are using lame, easy to guess passwords that bad guys know about. So on this same website, Have I Been Pawned, there's a tool right here, right? And I could type in passwords to see how many people are using specific passwords, because the same researchers, they downloaded not just the data breached records that were the usernames, but also the actual passwords themselves. So for example, this is live. I'm going to type in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to see how many people are using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as a password. We click search and look at this. 22,390,492 people are using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as a password. Let's type in number 7, and that means that 2.4 million people are using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's type in number 8, right? Look at that, 2.8 million people. That is just ridiculous. That just shows you how lame people are when it comes to using passwords, easy to guess passwords. Let's type in the word PASSWORD and see how many people are using the word password as a password. Look at that, 3.5 million times. And let's try just adding number 1, password 1, because, ooh, that's so much more secure. 2.3 million. So right here, you can see plainly that people are using easy to guess, easy to crack, known passwords for their critical websites. But a password manager supersedes all of that and allows you to have a much more secure password via a password manager.